Well, hi, and thanks so much for joining me on today's little video. I'm afraid it was another collargate day yesterday. Told off for my collar being messy, but surprisingly enough, this time it wasn't Sue, my wife. It was one of my sisters, Jean. She said it wasn't appropriate or it wasn't up to standard. So I thought today I would not wear a collar. So I hope that pleases everybody. Anyway, thanks so much for the comments that I've received on these videos. Really appreciate them. And one of the comments was that could I share something of my experience of ministry, some of the issues that I've faced, etc. And I certainly will be doing that over the coming days and perhaps weeks, depending on how long this situation goes on. And I want to share this morning one of the really key lessons that I learned very early on in my ministry. I trained for ministry at Wesley College in Bristol, and when I say trained really is inverted commas, because I can't think of very much at all that I learnt during those 3 years that was of any practical use when I went out into Methodist circuit ministry. I was in the Burslem Circuit. That's where I started off, in Stoke-on-Trent, in a little village called Norton-le-Moors. I looked after, I was minister of 5 fairly rural churches. And when I began that first day as a Methodist minister out in circuit, it was strange really. I was just thinking to myself, what on earth am I supposed to do now? Do I sit and wait for the telephone to ring so somebody needs me so I can go and respond to that? It was a great learning experience, and in fact, of course, I'm still learning. Anyway, I had a phone call from a firm of funeral directors. Some gentleman had lost his wife. Would I take the service? And of course I said yes. And as I was walking along to meet this gentleman, I was thinking to myself, what on earth am I going to say? How do I handle this? What am I supposed to do? And I was feeling very inadequate for the role. But anyway, I met this chap. His name was Bill. Sat with him. And all the time I was thinking in my mind, what am I supposed to say in response to his loss? How do I encourage him? How do I support him? And really, I just sat and listened to Bill tell me about his wife and about their marriage and their life together. Clearly very sad at the loss of his wife. And as I left Bill, I said a prayer with him. As I left, I thought, well, I didn't do a very good job there, did I? What should I have said? How could I have done that better? Anyway, after the service, Bill said to me, I really appreciated that visit. And I thought, why? I didn't do anything. And it's really, the reason he appreciated it was because I just was there with him and I listened to him. And it's that whole thing about listening that's so important. That sometimes people just want us to listen. They want us to be there with them, listening. And I've learnt another lesson, a related lesson from my marriage with Sue, and I'm still not really very good at this, but often when Sue shares a problem, an issue with me that she's wrestling with, many times she doesn't want me to give her an answer, particularly. She just wants me to listen, to give her opportunity to verbalise the things that are going on in her heart and in her mind. And that whole thing about listening is so important. Do you remember the story of Zacchaeus up the tree, the tax collector? Jesus meets with him, goes and spends time with him. We don't know what happened there, but I'm pretty sure that Jesus listened to Zacchaeus. And Zacchaeus found that amazing. Someone is giving me their time to listen. So I'd encourage you to hone your listening skills. To remember that that's such an important time. When we listen to someone, when we spend time with them, we're honouring them. We're saying to them that you're important. Incidentally, Bill, who I talked about, whose wife's funeral I took, Bill actually joined our church and became very much a key part of it. He actually became a church steward in due course. He was a lovely gentleman. He died quite a few years ago now, but I always remember with great fondness Bill and the lesson that he taught me. Well, that's about enough for today, but just to say that tomorrow I'm going to talk a little bit about how Sue and I met, how we got together, and then hopefully later in the week I'm going to be having a conversation with Sue about her experience as a minister's wife and what's that meant to her and to the family. So I hope you're going to find that interesting. So God bless you today. Hope you enjoy what you're going to be doing, and remember how important it is to listen. Listen to others. Listen to God. Amen.